I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hey everyone! This is Grave Cinema here again, bringing you another video! And this one, it's a movie we've both seen before, so it's not going to be just a reaction, first time watch for our roommate, which is usually what happens. It's going to be a rewatch for both of us because it's awesome. We wanted to watch it again, and we wanted to talk about it, give it a nice good review. Occasionally we'll do that for some of the bigger movies, and this is one I just really wanted to do. So we just saw Red Dragon. If you haven't seen that, go watch that video. It was her first time watch, but we just...
Also, if you haven't seen that movie, go watch the movie.
It was great, yes.
It's very good.
But now we're going to do the original Anthony Hopkins. But sequel book, but first adaptation with Anthony Hopkins. That's Hannibal Lecter. It is Silence of the Lambs.
I really just like the title.
It's quite unique, is it not?
It is.
The Silence of the Lambs. Like, you tell a person, hey, I'm going to go see the Silence of the Lambs. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Well,
it's
perhaps
intriguing.
when it first came out, yeah. Intriguing.
Why are we silencing these lambs?
And lambs don't really make... Hey! Get out here! Don't really make that many noises. Stay out here.
Dogs
you know you
gotta
aren't
stay
allowed
out
in
of
the
kitchen.
Don't give me that look. You lick things off the floor and then you throw up. Don't.
Anyway,
yeah, it's just a unique title. It catches the mind quickly because lambs don't usually make too much noise.
no, but maybe there's a reason why they're being silenced in this. Maybe we'll be told the meaning of the Silence of the Lambs in the actual movie. We already know that because we've seen it, but we want to watch it again and give it a fresh in our minds, and then we want to talk more about it.
Yeah,
give it a full review.
Love a good serial killer.
Indeed, or several.
Or
We may see several in this one.
killers.
All right.
Well, at least two.
These two. All right. All right. Well, let's not waste too much time and just get right to it. All right.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. The Silence of the Lambs.
And the squishing of my foot.
Rah, 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 rah.
Meow. Down, kitty.
Down, kitty.
The woods near Quantico, Virginia.
FBI training ground. Even the font. It's just a dark font with a white border outline.
Which is smart when you're putting it on a natural background. It's very hard to write on nature in a way that's easily read.
The Silence of the Lambs. Whereas Red Dragon was a great story, this is a movie with a great story and great movie making. Just cinematography, direction, acting. This is the reason why it won the big 5 Oscars.
I mean,
It
I get
cleaned
that.
up.
I still liked Red Dragon's cinematography. I liked...
It was good. This one, though, just fantastic all-around filmmaking, as we will see. There's our heroine.
She reminds me of Scully.
Oh, it's so much! Even with the Hannibal movie, when they couldn't get Jodie Foster back, they wanted to get Gillian Anderson, Scully, but there were some clause in her X-Files contract where she couldn't play another FBI agent.
Lame!
But it would have been so perfect.
It would have.
But we got to see her in the Hannibal series, though, so that was fun. Looks like a fun type of little exercise thing to do outside.
I'm just saying, if more gyms had obstacle courses like these for adults to use, bro, I would be the fittest person you've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, because it seems like kind of fun.
Yeah. Give me a reason to do what I'm doing.
Based on a novel by Thomas Harris. Pretty much all of Hannibal movies are based on his 4 novels.
At some point, I guess I should read those.
They're pretty damn good. I only have to finish reading Hannibal Rising. Haven't seen that movie either. Bill Skins 5th.
Jobs come up, and I thought about you. Not a job, really, more of an interesting errand. Sit down.
Interesting errand.
Would you
Change
like
her
to talk to a
life.
serial killer who'd like to taste you in ways you've never heard of?
Who's the subject?
The psychiatrist, Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal the cannibal.
A great serial killer name. Hannibal the Cannibal. You eat people named Hannibal.
I feel
It just
like
fits.
he'd be insulted by it, though,
Just straight reporting.
because it doesn't
How's his cell look?
promote his intellect.
Maybe he likes the rhyming.
Perhaps.
Be very careful with Hannibal Lecter. Dr. Chilton at the asylum will go over all the physical procedures used with him. And you're to tell him nothing personal, Starling. Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
I'm sure she won't do that.
Just do your job, but never forget what he is.
And what is that?
Oh, he's a monster.
Very nice transition.
From a research point of view, Lecter is our most prized asset.
You know, he's lucky. He doesn't look that much different between Red Dragon and this movie.
It's about 10 years difference.
Yeah, but he doesn't look too much different. How about you not focus on the fact that she's attractive and maybe focus on the fact that she's an FBI agent and deserves respect?
That'll be a theme throughout this movie.
We've tried to study him, of course, but he's much too sophisticated for the standard tests. Thinks I'm his nemesis.
Because you are.
Crawford's very...
You're a bit of a douchebag, aren't you?
I think you think too highly of yourself. Lecter thinks you're just a little bug that keeps annoying him.
And he's right.
And you should be able to remember the rules.
I do like Chilton more in this series. But Raul Spars was a great actor, so the series is really good. I recommend it.
If he attempts to pass you anything, do not accept it. Do you understand me?
I understand, sir.
His mouthpiece and restraints were removed for an EKG. When the nurse leaned over him, he did this to her. Save one of her eyes. His pulse never got above 85, even when he ate her tongue. I keep him in here.
Calm, psychopath.
When she's finished, bring her out.
Barney!
Hi, I'm Barney. He told you don't get near the glass. He's past the others. The last cell, you keep to the right. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
Can you?
Creep.
Thanks. And he's waiting for you.
May I speak with you?
May I see your credentials? Closer.
I'm still in training at the academy.
Jack Crawford sent a trainee to me.
I'm here to learn from you. Maybe you can decide for yourself whether or not I'm qualified enough to do that. I'm only asking you to look at this, Doctor. Either you will or you won't.
Yeah. Do you know why he's called Buffalo Bill? Please tell me. Why do you think he removes their skins?
Most serial killers keep some sort of trophies from their victims.
I didn't.
No, you ate yours.
Indeed, he
You
did.
send that through now.
Why don't you look at yourself and write down what you see? Maybe you're afraid to.
The census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Yeah.
How would not have had that happen to you? This courtesy is unspeakably ugly to me. Look deep within yourself, Clarice Starling. Go seek out Miss Moffat. Go now!
I'll give you a clue. And also, he was disgusting to you.
And it is deplorable to him for someone to act so. Even if he is completely insane.
Oh, it's insane, but he has manners.
No. Miggs.
Oh,
Completely insane.
he is insane, yeah. But also, Lecter's insane, but he has manners.
Lecter's the most dangerous kind of insane.
Smart. Highly intelligent.
Kind of highly intelligent you don't find often.
You're dead, Starling. Where's your danger area?
In the corner, sir.
Did you check the corner?
No, sir.
That's the reason you're dead.
Check your corners.
Doors or windows?
Miggs is dead.
How?
The orderly heard Lecter whispering to him all afternoon and Miggs crying. They found him at bed check. He'd swallowed his own tongue.
How does somebody do that?
Guess you have to be crazy first.
No. To swallow your own tongue?
You don't have to feel any way about it. Lecter did it to amuse himself.
No, Lecter did it because he was disrespectful
Ugly to tell you, but
and rude.
And it was amusing.
Moffat.
Since the name of a Miss Hester Moffat. Privacy is a great concern to my customers.
Is it now?
I mean, it's in the contract.
Stuck.
You could return tomorrow with
But
my
been closed for a
son.
while, a little rusty.
Are you going to get yourself some leverage, my dear?
Leverage. Clever. I'm just gonna crawl under here. Find me some goodies. Ugh. Nail.
Poor pants. It's a big storage unit.
Ahead!
Souvenir. Getting bold sitting next to the glass.
Thank you.
Your bleeding has stopped. I did not kill him, I assure you, merely tucked him away very much as I found him after he'd missed 3 appointments. Best thing for him, really. His therapy was going nowhere.
His dress.
Do you think Jack Crawford wants you sexually? Fucking you?
Doesn't seem that way, and that's odd for you to use such a word.
That doesn't interest me, Doctor. Frankly,
He's trying to
it's the sort of thing
keep her
that
on her
Miggs would
toes in
say.
some way, I think. See how she'll react. Remember, people were mostly playthings to him.
Thank you, Barney.
Are you saying that he's killed again?
I'm offering you a psychological profile on Buffalo Bill. I'll help you catch him, Clarice.
It'll be fun.
You know who he is, don't you?
All good things to those who wait.
Be patient, child.
Our little
Can't
Billy
just
must
give
already
you the
be
answer.
searching
You
for
have to earn it.
Next.
Oh, that poor man looks like he needs help.
See, this is why I'm not a good Samaritan.
Get in the truck and I want to push it all the way
Yeah,
out.
get in the truck. Yeah, go ahead. You would never do anything as stupid as this.
No, I'd come inside and get you.
Are you about a size 14?
Sorry.
Hello, Buffalo Bill. Got your next victim.
Oh, good.
Good skin. That's what he needs.
Found a girl's body down in West Virginia. Been in the water about a week. Looks like a Buffalo Bill type situation.
Do they have a whole town that they run scenarios in?
I like it. I mean, they have the same thing in Hollywood studios with streets and such.
Yeah, just a lot of work for training.
There's no evidence of rape or physical abuse prior to death. All the mutilation you see there is post-mortem.
Oh, he's a white male. Serial killer.
Aren't they
came out within
always?
our ethnic groups.
No,
Well,
He's not a drifter.
mostly.
He's got his own
that's true.
house somewhere.
We white people, we fucking crazy.
That's why you sent me in there, isn't it? To get his help on Buffalo Bill, sir?
Well, Crawford ain't coming back to help.
I just wish I was in on it, that's all.
You mean Graham?
Shit, you're right, Graham. Thank you. You knew what I meant.
I did.
This type of sex crime has certain aspects I just as soon discuss in private. You know what I mean?
There's a woman present, so we can't talk about dicks.
She's a professional. Treat her as such.
No! Chivalry and stuff!
And now you got the shot of them all just looking at her. It's very much a character who's got to prove herself in the eyes of men. Fucking men.
She's probably smarter than all. I mean, she is smarter than all of them.
She's more
She
committed.
actually made it into the FBI and they
Yeah.
didn't. Well, I don't know if they tried, so I suppose that's not a fair judgment. But at the same time, why are you judging her just because she's a woman?
Now, please, go on now. Let us take care of her. Go on now.
Get the fuck out!
Thank you.
Ray?
Don't want to be smelling this.
Yeah, of course, they're used to it.
2 of her fingernails are broken off. It looks like she's tried to claw her way through something.
Let's take a look.
It's a calling card.
Cocoon.
What is that?
There's no way that could get way down in there like that.
Unless somebody shoved it in there.
Jinkies. Velma found a clue.
Easier to print when we turn her over. Lamar, will you give me a hand with this?
When I told that sheriff we shouldn't talk in front of a woman, that really burned you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Cops look at you to see how to act. Matters.
Point taken.
You mean this is like a clue from a real murder case? Cool.
Cool.
It's not a PhD.
That's what I'd say too.
You ever go out for cheeseburgers and beer?
Not with you.
Meet Mr. Acherontius Styx,
Death's Head Moth.
better known to his friends as the Death's Head Moth. Somebody loved him.
You know, when I do sewing, I always do it naked.
Only way to do it.
Says Amanda's never touched a sewing machine. Do you think he just didn't bother to figure out that she was a senator's daughter?
Oh, he didn't know who the fuck she was.
Catherine
That was a
is
mistake.
very gentle and kind. I know you can feel love and compassion.
No, he can't,
You
actually.
haven't gone anywhere.
Keeps repeating the name.
And I promise
She
you.
sees Catherine as a person and not just an object. It's harder to tear her up.
Unless you're a killer that just fucking hates people.
Or just doesn't watch the news.
Catherine Martin dies, you get nothing.
Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things about yourself. Quid pro quo. Yes.
I want to feel like a doctor again.
Yes and no, Clarice. Poor little Catherine is waiting.
Because he knows that offers bullshit.
My father had become the whole world to me, and when he left me, I had nothing.
I think it would be quite something to know you in private life.
She had an object deliberately inserted into her throat.
Was it a butterfly?
A moth, just like the one we found in Benjamin Raspail's head an hour ago.
The significance of the moth has changed. Our belly wants to change too.
A little bit like Dollarhide too, wanting to become something else.
Do you realize that?
He thinks
Now, tell
all
me why.
serial killers go through a
After your
transformation.
father's murder, you were often...
I ran away.
Why, Clarice? Billy is not a real transsexual.
Shut.
But he thinks he is. He tries to be. Our Billy wasn't born a criminal, Clarice. He was made one through years of systematic abuse.
Just like Dollarhide.
He thinks that makes him a transsexual.
And he's
But
listening
his
in.
pathology is 1,000 times more savage.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told. It rubs the lotion
On its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Yes, you will, precious. You will get the hole.
Well, at least he's nice to his dog.
Now he places the lotion in the basket.
It. Let's call her It. Fingernails. You ain't the first girl.
He's such a good creep.
Yeah.
She never heard any deal with you. They scammed you, Hannibal.
And if the girl is found in time, Senator Martin will have you transferred. Who is Buffalo Bill?
He doesn't know.
His first name is Louis.
Oh no, he does know.
And I have a few conditions of mine.
He's trying to maneuver himself out of the cell.
Transferred. Did you have a trainee make some sort of phony offer?
Roger
to lecture in the
Corbin!
senator's name?
Big movie producer. He was producer of Death Race 2000. A lot of other things too. That was a nice cameo. Ah, the mask. First introduction of the famous Hannibal mask.
Here, sir, use mine.
Now, how the fuck did he get that pen? How careless was Chilton to lose that pen to him?
Very. But then again, Chilton should never have had his job.
Pretty much. See them pull a guy up like that, you know he's dangerous.
Yeah.
Did you breastfeed her?
I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it? Oh, son of a bitch. When your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back.
Gotta fuck with him.
Oh, and Senator, just one more thing. Love your suit.
He had fun doing that.
He got to talk to somebody when in front of an audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's only through my own unique insight into Lecter's mind that this breakthrough was possible.
Bullshit!
My name is Dr. Frederick.
Yes, my name though, my name. I'm important.
Is it true what they're saying? Some kind of vampire?
Yes, he's a vampire, just like me.
He's from more like a lick.
know
Needs
the
body
rules,
parts.
ma'am?
I wonder why they took him there and not just a maximum facility or someplace.
Looks cooler. Can be fancier.
And it allows him an opportunity to escape.
Which we obviously need.
Yep.
I thought you might like your drawings back, Doctor.
How kind of you.
People will say we're in love. Well, I've read the case files, have you? Everything you need to find him is right there in those pages. Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each particular thing, ask, what is its nature? What does he do, this man you seek?
He's helping you.
What needs does he serve by killing?
Sexual frustrations.
No, he covets. And how do we begin to covet, Clarice? We begin by coveting what we see every day.
Later. Now, please listen to me. We've only got 5.
No, I will listen now. He went to live with cousins on a sheep and horse ranch in Montana. And
It's time for our next session, Clarice.
I heard a strange noise.
what was it?
It was screaming.
What did you see, Clarice? What did you see?
Lambs. They were screaming.
They were slaughtering the spring lambs.
Screaming man.
Yes.
And
A lot
you
of
ran
great
away?
close-ups in this. Just the shots.
I thought if I could save just one, but
What became of your lamb, Clarice?
I killed him.
You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lamb.
Screaming of the lamb.
Do you think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again to that awful screaming of the lamb?
So if she saves her, it'll be the silence of the lambs.
Thank you, Clarice.
It's your turn, Doctor.
Out.
Tell me his name.
Sorry, ma'am, I've got orders.
Well, let me know when those lambs stop screaming, won't you? Your case file. Goodbye, Clarice.
Just a little touch.
Human contact. Willing
Creepy in certain aspects, but still.
and in control of his own human contact. Absolutely creepy, but
Yeah.
she was in no danger of him.
Oh no. She's
Even if he got out, I don't think he would have touched her. Like,
she's helping him enjoy some aspect of his life during this time where he could have a chance to be a doctor again in some way and help guide somebody else to help them. He already told her everything she needs to know to catch Buffalo Bill.
Yep. Gotta look in her case file that he wrote some stuff in.
Well, look at that. It was a quick drawing with a lamb. That's how you know he likes you.
He creepily draws photos of you.
Yeah.
Pictures, not photos.
From memory.
It's a remarkable resemblance, too.
Did a second dinner. Lamb chops, extra rare.
What he wants for breakfast.
Lamb chops, of course.
Same drill as before, please.
Mm-hmm.
Are you when you are, Sergeant Pembry?
Ready when you are, Sergeant Pembry.
It's a shame he kills them. They do seem to treat him with some kind of respect.
Yes, but they're in the way.
Hand me that, please.
Mind the drawings, please.
Give me a little extra time.
Jimmy, watch it.
Gotcha. Now we get to see the viciousness of the doctor that we've only heard about until now. Don't rush.
What a waste of perfectly good lamb chops. I have that knife. Actually sitting right over there.
Just like me, gotta wait till the end of the song.
Just like you.
Just the blood on the chin. Very vampire-like. Oh, you're still there? A knife. This will be helpful.
Ready when you are, Sergeant Pembry.
Ready when you are, Sergeant Pembry. Nice little bookend to that scene.
Oh, Pembry, asking for tell. Shots fired on fire.
Now, you only had 2 guys on that floor with Lecter. You didn't have, like, I don't know, a dozen. It's because we just gotta get him out.
It's Doc.
Of course, that's letting plot get into the story. We don't do that
Seal
here.
off a 10-block radius.
Ooh, a little silhouette there.
Oh, God.
Strung him up like an angel.
Sergeant Tate, he's alive.
Lecter's missing and armed.
Pembry, can you hear me?
They do a good job of setting this up, though.
It's a genius way to get out. Horrible. But genius.
I mean...
We think he's on 2.
Little blood drip.
All too soon.
He's on the roof of the elevator.
Not even a flinch. Shoot someone in the leg, they're gonna flinch at least. There he goes. Great reveal. Rip this off. That was a great shot.
By now he could be anywhere.
He won't come after me.
So how does he like tan it?
I'm not an expert, but he's doing whatever you need to do to make skin keep, to make a dress. Huh?
Not a dress, a suit.
Suit, dress, just put on
different.
and wear. I don't know what he's doing.
First girl taken.
Third body found. Why? What does this guy do? He
Got some
covets.
close-ups again.
How do we first start to covet?
Like we're talking to the
We
audience.
covet what we see every day. You know it.
You knew the first victim. More often than not, it's somebody you know.
And we're back to
Oh, hi
the
there.
only way to get away with being a serial killer is to be completely random.
Pretty much. Be random. Do in a place where they can't find any trace of who you are. No cameras, no nothing. It's about your only shot.
And find a way to make sure that they don't find a body.
Yeah, then it's just a missing person. But then where's the fun if you can't play with the FBI? Sometimes you want to taunt them, leave you little notes.
Is that what you do? Do you leave the FBI?
I mean, they
post-it
never
notes?
caught the Zodiac killer.
Didn't that recently?
Supposedly, they recently kind of solved it or something, but as long as he was alive, they never caught the bastard.
He's making himself a woman's suit.
Starling, we know who he is and where he is. We're on our way right now.
Oh, really?
Where?
Johns Hopkins came up with some names. We fed him into known offenders.
Subject's name is Jamie Gump.
I need you to link him to the Bimmel girl before he's indicted. See what you can dredge up in Belvedere.
Yes, sir.
We wouldn't have found him without you. Nobody's gonna forget that. At least of all me.
Precious time for a little treat.
She's smart, though.
Come and get it, pretty girl.
Who do you fuck with?
Who'd you fuck?
Come on, take that.
I'd fuck with soul.
Whenever I hear this song, all I think of is this scene and the parody of it in Clerks 2. Probably Clerks 2 first, to tell you the truth.
Would you fuck me?
Yep, gotta tuck it. Well, Captain Stottlemyre. Interesting home life you have.
Precious?
Down here, you sack of shit!
She got Precious.
Hey, don't you hurt my dog!
Don't you make me hurt your dog!
Hey, you don't know what pain is!
Dog ain't dead, it's your only bargaining chip, baby girl.
Yeah, but she's doing what she can. She's dead if she doesn't do anything. That's certain. Great editing here. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I'm investigating the death of Frederica Bimmel.
There's no one here, Jack.
Clarice.
Your name is?
Oh, Jack Gordon.
James Gum, John Grant,
Did you know her?
Jack Gordon. Using the same initials, dude.
Yeah, I got his card in here someplace. Do you want to come in while I look for it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Out in the middle of nowhere, where nobody can hear you.
So many benefits and at the same time, so many disadvantages.
This is gonna bleed.
Look around, furries.
Like that at all.
It's the moth. She
You got
knows.
like a... Here's that number.
May I use your phone, please?
Sure, you can use my phone.
Freeze! Put your hands in the back, thumbs up.
Should've shot right then. As soon as
He was unarmed, she didn't have rights to shoot.
Shoot him in the ass.
Really extensive basement you got there, though.
Where is he?
How the fuck should I know? Just get me out of here!
I'm gonna get you out of there, but right now, you listen to me. I gotta leave this room. I'll be right back.
Don't you leave me here! This guy's fucking crazy!
Yeah, and he's still out there. And she's alone.
Please! I gotta get out of here!
Sweetie, she can't get you out of there without making herself a target.
The other officers will be here any minute now!
Of course, she said that out loud to make him think more are coming. Guess that's Miss Whitman. like he's gonna play with you a little bit first.
He's a serial killer. It's kind of what they do.
Kind of, yep. I want to touch it. Quick reaction on her part.
That is what she was trained for. Especially when you have a gun in your hands already. That was obviously the sound of a weapon cocking.
Lucky she got him and a window to get some light.
And while I do believe in the justice system, due process, and suffering for eternity for the crimes you committed, I do feel like men like him are better off dead.
Yeah. No, keeping this dog.
Well, she probably feels bad for hurting the dog.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the dog's fault who its owner is.
Mm-hmm.
It is a cute little fluff ball.
Fidelity, bravery, integrity. Yeah, you pass.
I would hope so.
Of course, some may say you peaked early. What's the odds you're going to catch another serial killer like that in your career?
Ernest W.
Phone call. Excuse me, Joe.
Starling?
Oh, it's the
Look, I
nerdy
just
guy
wanted to
from the
say
museum.
congratulations.
Yep, it's both of them.
Your father would have been proud today. Don't forget your phone call.
Starling.
Well, Clarice, have the lambs stopped screaming? I have no plans to call on you, Clarice. The world's more interesting with you in it. I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Dr. Lecter. Dr. Lecter.
He hung up.
Dr. Lecter.
Very important. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hello, children.
Your big shot security is nothing when you have the mind that works like a computer.
He's having an old friend for dinner.
He's in like an African country or somewhere in the Caribbean.
I think Caribbean. Yeah, I think it's Caribbean. He just disappears in the crowd. And credits. Alright, so that was The Silence of the Lambs, a classic thriller horror movie from 1991. This won the big Oscars that year: director, picture, actor, actress,
So I'd just like to
screenplay.
point out,
Point.
here I was born.
Oh, good for you, yeah.
Just saying, good things came from the 90s.
Yes, and this was one of the best, if not the best thing, from
Hey!
1991. What?
Just remember, you have to go to sleep in the same house as I do tonight.
Yeah, that's every night.
Most nights, not every night, but not the point.
Not the point. The point is, this was a fantastic movie which we are so happy to rewatch, and now we can talk a bit more about it. So, what do we think about this movie as a whole?
I
or in parts?
think it is interesting that you have two people who were abused growing up. They don't play into enough of Bill's background, which, you know, I'm always going to say. It's intriguing that he would point out that his first victim was a big fat girl, but he was making himself a woman suit that would have made him a little bit heavier because there's no way you can make one with as slender of curves as he had while using the skin of heavier women.
Well, I think you need it to be heavier because maybe it's something in the process of making it shrinks it a little bit, and you need something to go around him. That's the only way I can think
Yeah,
of.
but I'm talking about the waist, though. You couldn't make a waist like that. And when you saw what he had created, it was a heavier set woman.
Yeah, I mean, book has more details as well, so there's probably more information about the how-tos and the whys in a certain way. But that's the main gist. He just wanted to make a woman's suit, and for whatever purposes, they need to be a bit bigger for it to be made properly for him. So that's just plot details.
That's true.
Story is, he wants to make a suit. And that's why he's killing these women. Those were his needs. He needed those parts, and the killing was incidental, as Lecter said.
Yeah. Interesting, though, how he attaches to the dog.
Well, he has something he likes and needs to attach to, I guess.
I guess. Well, I guess with the one we just watched, he attached to that woman.
Yeah, Dollarhide in Red Dragon, he did get attached to Reba.
But usually with a serial killer or a psychopath like that, they are completely unfeeling.
That's true, but they're not all the same. There's always unique individuals who do their own things.
Yes and no.
They can have similarities, but still,
I'm not talking
they
about
can
serial
surprise
killers
you.
in general. I'm talking about psychopaths. The
Well,
standard
psychopath,
operating
serial killer, yeah.
thing that creates a psychopath is unfeeling to the world around them. That's why they hurt things like small animals, cats, dogs, stuff like that. You know? I don't know. It's intriguing. I like the character of Clarice. I like that you get into her background and kind of a little more why she is what she is.
Mm-hmm.
I like that that centers around her. And I also like that Hannibal this time does not try and necessarily make her into a serial killer. He just kind of... He almost, like we talked about, he kind of uses her as her guide, so to speak.
Uh-huh, it's like he's mentoring her, but also he's using her to analyze, as he used to do before, to be a doctor. To get
as
to know
entertainment.
Her. As entertainment as well, and to feel somewhat, I guess, normal again. When you're confined in that space of like 8 years
and nothing
with little
really to
contact, you just want some sense of normalcy, I would imagine, and that was a bit normal for him at that period. While still being, you know, himself and wanting to have fun and be playful in his own psychotic way.
Yeah. I also think it's a crying shame that while I don't want more psychopathic serial killers in the world, that we don't see men of that kind of intelligence as being like what people should strive to, because he thinks beyond the normal. And while he thinks to a point where he takes it to a psychotic turn, obviously by the fact that he eats people and puts their skin on his head like a mask, you know, you don't see that often enough.
Well, he had to get out, and that was a solid plan. And he had no qualms about putting a face on your face.
That was not the point of what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking that because it obviously worked. I'm saying it's a shame we don't see that kind of intelligence fostered in schools in the days of our youth. It is a shame that we raise people to be the class that they're in when you're in school, because if we fostered more on thinking outside the box, thinking for yourself, the same thing that he does for the people he talks to, for Graham, for Clarice, he forces them to actually think for themselves.
Yeah,
in the way
as
that,
we were mentioning before, he's not telling them the answer, he's guiding them to how to find it.
Right. He's essentially Feeneying them.
Mr. Feeney!
We've been watching a lot of Boy Meets World, and Feeney does the same thing. He won't lead you to the answers, he'll make you figure them out for yourself. And I think that that is something missing from the school system these days. It's something missing from our culture these days that we just don't have. And I think it's a shame.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah. Also, again, another wonderful performance by Anthony Hopkins. He did a fantastic job.
You won an Oscar for it, so I guess people will agree with you there.
One would hope so. You know, and it's interesting too, the change in actors for
Crawford?
Yes, that's the one. Seeing the very straight cut, cool. I never got the I'm hitting on you vibe from him that Hannibal insinuates to Clarice.
Oh, I think he's just testing her in some ways like that. Also seeing how she'll react to those insinuations. But yeah, Crawford in this it's also interesting to see him played by several actors throughout several iterations. You had Harvey Keitel in Red Dragon, Scott Glenn in this, and then in the Hannibal series, Lawrence Fishburne. And all with their own takes, but he's still a featured character in the Hannibal Lecter mythos.
Well, I just like seeing the differences between Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon here, because in Red Dragon, he's a little bit more animated. Like, Harvey Keitel definitely makes him more... like he needs this to happen. Whereas
more
in Silence of the Lambs,
active.
the actor that portrays him there is more detached almost.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He needs it to
I can see that a
happen,
little bit.
but he needs it to happen over here, which is why he can kind of look at Clarice and sort of talk to her from a distance, going like, so was that rude of me to do that thing that I did? And
Yeah.
she's just like, yeah.
That is like a theme of the film, how she's just
Having to deal
a female agent having to handle a somewhat misogynistic world of entering the FBI, which is male-dominated, and you having to prove yourself and then have those eyes on you that way.
Okay.
And not to be treated different. It is a big theme on this. In fact, this was, I think, a boon to like female recruitment in the FBI after it came out.
I think it's a boon to women everywhere because it gives
too.
a good perspective on what we deal with outside of law enforcement as well as in. Inside law enforcement, I have been told that women have to work twice as hard and be twice as much of an asshole just to be taken seriously. And to that point, when I've been pulled over by a guy, I've gotten more warnings and more, this is a glorified parking ticket because I can tell you're not an asshole. And I haven't been pulled over that many times, thank you. But the one time I got pulled over by a chick because I didn't realize I wasn't in the part of the highway where the speed changed. I hit it a little early and I didn't realize that. I was exhausted. Just worked my first overnight. My car handle had broken that morning and I was not in a very good headspace. So
Having
she
a bad
pulled me
night.
over. And she had to ask me twice if I was doing drugs. And I'm like, ma'am, I just told you no. She's like, well, what about weed? And I'm like, I just told you I don't do drugs. I don't know what part of that you... I didn't actually say that part, but she hard-assed me a lot more than any other guy would have. And I think it's because she was a woman. And on that same note, I've also met a woman cop right outside of the precinct, not far from where I was pulled over, because I had blown a tire. And she was like, fuck this shit. I am so sick of dealing with my fucking coworkers, who were all dudes. That she just sat there and she's like, you know what, girl, here, I'm gonna help you change your fucking tire. I also didn't have all the pieces to the jack I needed, so I was really thankful for that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was missing the part that makes the jack turn. I don't know how, but I was, and I have a new jack now that I put in every car, and it's not the usual. Anyway.
As long as it works.
It certainly does. Very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not too hard to figure out either. And it holds more than most car jacks. But that's not the point. The point is that in law enforcement, when women have a tendency of having to deal with it more, because as you said, it tends to be a male-dominated field because men are stronger. Because women aren't as strong, we're forced to use our brains more to outthink our opponents. Honestly, that would be an ideal thing for a law enforcement officer rather than to pull your gun right away. I'm not saying all cops do that. I'm just saying, you know, I think women have to think a little harder because we have to think of if we go up against a guy that's, say, your size, but bulkier and aggressive because, oh, I'm a man and I'm bigger than you. We have to outthink them and know how to use their weight against them. And I don't know. I think it makes us work a little harder, a little smarter.
Mm-hmm.
But that happens just about everywhere you go. Even if you're in the corporate world, there's plenty of guys that will come in and they will think because they are a man that they are smarter and they're bigger than you and therefore that gives them an advantage. And if you're going to survive, you have to be more cutthroat than they are. Otherwise, you drown under it because a man thinks he can. And
yeah, I can see that.
I mean, like, perfect example in Florida, when my crew is done with our haunt that we build, we don't stay Nightmare. We turn into what's called Team Man Stuff, which I hate that name, and I understand why we got it, but I still hate that name.
Team Man
And that's
Stuff.
because the very first year I was down there, I can't remember if it was Southwood or Scooter in charge. Anyway, my crew was done in the haunt. I still had some things left to do, so they went out to do stuff, and they were asked to do something in front of another person on the crew. And they were like, oh yeah, that's some real man stuff right there. So everything they did the rest of the day, one of my crew members would shout, yeah, this is man stuff right here. So
Man stuff.
Team Man Stuff. And it's a thing where once we're done, my boss will look at what he has left that he needs knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sends my team in to descend upon it like wolves because he knows we will, and we'll knock it the fuck out and get it done. Even if it takes us all day. Because he knows better than to do something like that. and he's smarter than that. I'm not explaining this well. Point in case, we're called Teen Man stuff because the shit we're doing isn't for men. It's for anybody. But he knows that we'll knock it out of the park. So he sends us in to strike it down.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's everywhere you go. That is something that I deal with everywhere. And like right now, I work in security.
You do.
I've gotten it there too. I have coworkers that give me cute nicknames all the time. I remember my boss looking at me like I was some kind of She-Hulk the one night because we were moving benches and I picked one up by myself that he and another guy were lifting together. And I'm like, you guys are cute. I got this. And he just stared at me and I'm like, what? I work in security. Did you think I couldn't lift things? You know, it happens everywhere. I know, and believe it or not, that a uterus does not affect my ab muscles or any other muscles at all unless it's that time of the month. And sweetie, that is nothing medication can't fix. Yeah, you know. You live with me. And you're one of the few men that has never, ever, ever done that to me. So.
No, why would I?
Why would anyone? Yet it happens all the time. I walked in this door once because of someone that did that. And essentially used the fact that he was a dude to say, well, I can't just not flirt with you. That would be like breathing. Like not breathing, excuse me. Alright? It happens every single day. So to see that in film, the very year I was born, probably was an omen, folks. I am not the type to stay quiet. Anyway, it is important, just like it's important now to show the inclusivity in films that should have been there the whole time. It's important for female actors to get paid the same as male actors. It was important to show that in a film that drew so much attention.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have seen an uptick in female recruits for the FBI, but I guarantee you saw an uptick in women not taking people's bullshit.
Probably.
I love that about it, though.
Uh-huh. It's a very influential film, I will agree.
Absolutely. For more than just the uniqueness to it.
This is high regarded. Still to this day. It was on Bravo's list of 100 scariest movie moments.
What was scary, though? Like, this movie has never scared me. It's always intrigued me. Is it the moment in the dark when he goes to cock the gun and she shoots?
I don't remember the exact moment, but it was featured there, if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, like, that too, with this movie, it also points out one of the things that makes women so vulnerable. Like, she goes to help him with the damn chair thing to put it into the truck. Just being a good Samaritan and immediately gets taken advantage of.
Yeah, that was like a warning from a lot of people. Like, don't go in weird trucks with strangers.
Or don't help strangers at night that you don't know. Especially if it involves a vehicle. You will never catch me asking any of our neighbors if they need help with their car. There were a couple of guys working on, they had a hood popped over here the one night I was coming home. And I'm like, I could pull over and offer to call them AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just go home. I will never pull over to the side. My mom used to pick up hitchhikers if I wasn't in the car with her to help them out. She's like, I would never do it with you in here. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't do it either. I will never do that. If I see people on the side of the road, I will happily call the police for them. But I ain't stopping to help.
It's number 7 on Bravo's list of scary movie moments I just found.
Oh, you know what? It probably wasn't the moment in the thing. It was probably the moment when he attacks the people.
I mean, there's a lot of moments of horror in this when you see.
Yeah, but there's
the
only
scenes.
one where a guy visibly goes after them with his teeth.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, that was it.
But it's well worthy.
Oh yeah, I mean, it never scared me.
I mean, you know the thing about Hollywood saying, we gave it all these Oscars, but we can't give these to horror movies, so we'll call it a thriller. Thriller horror.
I still think it's horror.
Yeah, there's horror aspects.
It definitely is a subgenre of horror because it's a crime novel. Well, crime story, true crime story.
I mean, the novel itself is not in the horror section. It's actually in the mystery section.
Well, I suppose that's fair.
But even still, true crime itself can be a horror theme in its own, just like the horrors of real life. Like, you get scared more at the stuff that's real than the fake bullshit and, like, monster or ghost movies or whatnot. It's the real stuff that gets you the most.
That's true, which is surprising that this movie doesn't get me more because of that, because this could happen.
Hmm?
You know? I mean, just because I don't stop and help people doesn't mean other women don't. You know? I don't know. It's odd that this one doesn't bother me as much as Texas Chainsaw Massacre does or Last House on the Left does. But it doesn't. And it might be because it has a strong central female character that kicks
I think that's
ass.
a reason why. You have somebody to connect to focus on, and then
You have a heroine.
take the journey with as they go to investigate and then ultimately become the villain at the end.
And she is stronger than most people I know, because I know if I were in that situation, I don't know that I could have pulled a trigger as fast as she could. Granted, I don't have a lot of FBI training, so...
She did have the training. You see her training throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, but she was still a student.
Yeah, but she
wasn't
has
a
at least
fully
that
trained FBI
training.
Yeah, she does, and it looked like she was towards the end of her studenthood. But at the same time, you can read a bunch of shit in a book. It's completely different when it's physically in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And she still pulled the trigger.
Yep.
And that's the important part. I don't know. Overall, you're right. It's a fantastic movie, and I'm glad we rewatched it. I feel it is...
It is a Best Picture winner, so it's got to have some quality to it. And it's one of the ones that are actually worth rewatching every now and again. It's that good.
And it was groundbreaking at the time, wasn't it? Because people hadn't really delved into serial killers that much.
I don't
not
think
in that
so.
way, not as like a true crime story.
Yeah.
So it has its own little gateway.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking there.
And even though it wasn't the first Hannibal Lecter movie, that was Manhunter, which was the first Red Dragon adaptation, which was okay. This one, it really propelled the character into the pop culture lexicon, and he became a big icon. And so then you got more movies out of this. Tom Harris wrote some more books with Hannibal, a Hannibal sequel and a Hannibal prequel. And Anthony Hopkins became pretty much iconic for this role.
I was about to say, I don't think it would have gotten as big if it hadn't been Anthony Hopkins. He really brought something special to that role.
He did, with only like, I think 14 minutes total screen time, if you count it up. So he was effective for the time he had. Just had that presence that he brought to this role.
Yeah, he brings a good kind of psychiatrist-y feel to it. And you can definitely tell he's smart, but he has that edge of madness in his voice.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad when you
His
had your
eyes.
first new adaptation without him, it was in a series format, so it gave that actor time to do his own interpretation and have the audience grow and get accustomed to that character with Mads Mikkelsen, because he's fantastic. He's different, but still fantastic in his own way.
Less mad. He's more cold and calculating. He's more the true definition of a psychopath.
Yo, very much so.
Somebody cold, calculating, and not having attachment to just about anything, but making other people think he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that series, I highly recommend that.
yes.
Watch the series. It's got 3 seasons. They went through most of all the Hannibal books, aside from probably, I think, the prequel book, which I haven't read yet, but I didn't see anything.
It didn't go through Red Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, no, it did.
Was that the final season?
Yeah, final season. Did you see the final season?
No, I didn't.
What the fuck? Finish the season.
Oh, I think you distracted me with Community.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think that's about the time we started watching that.
That's my fault. I saw all of it, so, but they did.
Eventually I'll
They
watch
did
the
get
final
through
season.
Red Dragon in the 3rd season.
But the first 2 seasons were equally as good.
Then it got canceled, but I'm hoping, even the creator hopes, that eventually they can do the Silence of the Lambs story as a final 4th season after some time's passed with the characters as well. So I'm fingers crossed, because I want to see that. I want to see this done again in that new interpretation. It'd be so great. So, but yeah, any final thoughts on Silence of the Lambs?
I love this movie. I love that I don't mind watching it over and over again. Yeah.
We love it. That's the
Yeah.
final thought on this one. We
This
recommend
is
it, and it's a rewatch.
Definitely a recommend. Definitely
Yeah.
a good movie that I could watch. This is something I could almost put on in the background at this point because I can't quote it like I can Three Musketeers or Sleepy Hollow, but
You know, some of your personal favorites, yeah.
those
but
are some of my personal favorites, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yes, but it is to a point where I can sit there and have it play in the background as one of those movies that I just know what's going to happen. And I like it. You have fun with it.
I do.
It is on my list of things to eventually get you if I see it is a Hannibal Lecter mask.
Yeah, I still need to get one of those. That'd be fun. You can probably find something online. Anyway.
I am waiting until the right one comes my way.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for this rewatch and review of Silence of the Lambs, the classic Best Picture winner from 1991. We love it, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. If you like our videos, you can always subscribe. And if you want to see them earlier, we do have a Patreon where you can subscribe there at a certain tier to see our videos early.
You also have more of a say and can potentially pay for videos for us to have to find and watch.
There are certain perks. You just go to the link in the description. You know what to do. You know how it works. So,
it's things and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you for the next video.
Absolutely.
All right.
And until then, stay spooky and don't help people by getting into their cars.
No, not without a friend. All right.
Unless you know them, and even then, maybe with a friend.
Yes. All right. Until next time.
Next time, stay spooky.
Bye.